It's nice to be here at the Progressive Auto State. Whoa!
Well, you look familiar, at least from the nose up, anyway.
Is that crazy? Wow, Jay Peckham, it's nice to see you again.
I know. And I can't see you because my glasses aren't fogged up, which is...
So many people are using that one today.
Yeah,
I came
bet,
in and the lady, the media entrance there, I was like, just like, are you Dave Burrows? I went up for...
it seems like it's been forever, hasn't it?
Well, a couple years.
Yeah.
Right, really. And in here, this is... we haven't seen each other much outside of here just because of the pandemic and stuff.
Yep.
So the only time you and I saw each other was a mask on our face.
Yeah, 100%.
But we're here. We've pushed through. I know somebody said, well, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, it was just a really long frickin' tunnel.
Yeah, it was a long frickin' tunnel.
Right?
For sure.
But we're here. And you know what? Honestly, kudos to the Sarnia Sting and actually the OHL in general for being very aware of the pandemic, obviously, but I mean concerned about health issues. And actually even tightening things up or keeping things tightened up even when the government didn't quite require it anymore.
Well, yeah, and you know what? I mean, kudos to the fans because, I mean,
Absolutely.
Truthfully, it never seemed to be an issue around here. I think, when the rink finally did open back up, people were just happy to be back watching hockey live again or doing anything live again, so we did what it took to do that and kept people safe and the people around us.
And I can tell you, as someone who was allowed to be here as media when the games were on and no patrons, there was a part of me that felt guilty for being here and watching the game.
Well, you should feel guilty about that stupid crowd noise thing that they did.
I had nothing to do with that. Well,
somebody should feel bad for that because that was bad.
They were working to create an atmosphere and help the guys
created
on the
an
ice.
atmosphere. I've done that after a good burrito too.
There you go. Well, I appreciated what they did. You know who I really felt for when there was nobody in their room was Josh Boyce. Because he would still do all the, they have the script of everything they have to say, and he would still go, Sarnia Sting goal and he would say the announcements and post-game, don't forget the post-game press conference that nobody can go to, right?
And the crowd goes wild.
Oh, well, we had to do something.
I feel for you too, Josh. I do, 100%.
And kudos to Jake Burry and all the team here for doing what they can to make it happen. I get you. Don't listen to Jake Beck.
100%. No, it's okay. Jake's a great guy.
Except
absolutely.
for the. It was his idea to put that.
It was terrible. Terrible idea.
But Jake's a great guy.
Jake's a great guy. That was a terrible idea.
All right. What was I going to say now?
I don't know. We had lots to talk about.
We had lots to talk. Well, we do
and
have
then
lots
we went off the rails.
We haven't even talked hockey really yet.
No, we haven't.
Okay, maybe I've been avoiding that.
Okay.
Let's go with the bad side of things first. Owen Sound attack recently.
Oh, my goodness.
Tuesday.
What the heck was that?
And I didn't get to see any of the game. I heard a little bit of it, but then I got distracted. But I know that the first and second period was a zero-scoring game.
Yep.
So then Owen Sound attack come out in the third with 5 goals, and we got nothing.
Got caught with our pants down.
Right. Did you catch any of that? Or
you know what? I did not, honestly. And it was unusual because I literally caught pretty much every home and away game all season long.
Yeah.
But I was unfortunately very busy that night. So.
Yeah. Well, regardless, 5-0 for the Sarnia Sting. It's really crunch time. After tonight, there's only 2 more home games.
Yep.
And then they're on the road. And I was trying to find a stat, did we win more games on the road or did we win more games at home? And I didn't really spend the time counting, but it's pretty close, I think.
No, I think we won. We have typically done better on the road.
Oh, did we do it?
We've done really well on the road.
I didn't check it out, but I won't question on that. But so I guess what I was getting at, if we won more on the road, then maybe this is a good thing coming up after we get through this home games.
Yes and no. I mean, the unfortunate part is we're playing some pretty strong teams.
Well,
in the dying days of this season, but which is always hard. it'd be nice if it was just a little more evened out. But you know what? Just the way it's worked out,
well, the pandemic
that's what we
didn't
have,
help with all of that,
and we're going to have to step up,
Because we spent a lot of time here with the Sarnia Sting in March,
we do.
Something like 15 home games. So, well, maybe that's the fire or the burr, as Coach Alan Letang likes to say, that they'll come out with here tonight. Because I think most, including the Sarnia Sting, would have expected to beat Owen Sound Attack.
I would have expected to. I think. Again, we've said it so many times. At any given night in the OHL, any team has a chance to beat any other team. But, the truth is, I think we kind of got caught short, a little flat-footed in the third period. And, 2 periods of 0-0 hockey, that's a strong performance. If you can come up with that, it's a 1-goal game. And this one just turned into a 5-goal game, which means, we didn't come prepared, or we didn't do what we needed to do in that last period to make it happen.
Well, we've talked a lot about that with as far as leadership goes on this team. There's been who is the leader right now, with Nolan Dillingham still off, although we would assume he's still behind the scenes doing what he can. But
let's hope so.
There seems to be a mix out there, but no point in beating that up anymore. We're here right now. 5-0's gone. The standings there, though, I was just looking at that, at least in our division. There's so many close calls there right now.
Yeah, we're in a very tenuous hold of 8th place in the conference.
Yeah.
Which means we may have a chance to get in, but, we're going to have to pay attention, because the truth is it's a really tight race for that bottom, for that 8th place. And, if we can win our fair share, we might have a chance. If we, don't step up to the plate, or, step or skate onto that ice, or whatever sports analogy we're going to use today.
Yeah, and that being said,
we're going to have a hard time.
We've got Saginaw right there wanting it just as bad too, right? So
for sure.
Is it the team that's the most desperate here tonight, the one that comes out on top?
Well, I think you've mentioned that before. I don't know that desperation works for me, Dave, and I don't think desperation is what you're going to need in order to in order to win games. I think you have to be hungry for it. I think
that's pretty much what I mean.
You have to want it. You can't be doing it because if we don't do it, we're going to lose something. I think it's
that could be a motivational factor, though.
But I think it's that how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to be in the playoffs? How bad do you want to move on and get some more games out of this season? And the team that wants it the most is going to get it. And I don't think it's about desperate. It's not about scrambling to put something together. It's about taking the plan that you've got in place and executing on it and making that stuff happen.
What's the plan?
Well, I think, I think that depends on the team, but I think, you got to play 60 minutes of hockey.
Yep.
I think you've got to, keep the pace up. You got to keep the pace at a manageable rate so that, you're putting pressure on the other team to keep up to you, so you're leading in that area. And
let me stop you there. Let's talk about that, because going back just a little bit, we did have a conversation about, we saw lots of passing going on, but it was like we were waiting for the other team to make the move. We're not putting that pressure on that team.
No.
We're waiting for them to make a decision instead of forcing them into a position where they must make a decision, hopefully one they really don't want to make, but have no choice.
And I think that's the part of it, Dave, is if you, in any sport, hockey included, if you force the other team to play your game, you're going to be pushing them, and in doing that, they are more likely to make errors.
So why do you think this team has resisted in doing that? Because we've seen a lot of it over the year, right, or over the season. And is it because there's a lot of young members of the team out there?
I think that's part of it.
Lack of confidence.
I think
is
that's
part of it. And is there I don't know, is there a size factor in this at all?
I think it could be. I don't know that size is necessarily it, but there's some conditioning and speaking of conditioning.
Right?
Sorry. My buddy Mark used to be the coach of that. But, there's some conditioning and some endurance and stuff like that might not be there, partly because they're young and partly because, you put out too much in the first two periods, you're going to not have enough for the third, right? And I think we've sort of seen that time and time again. There typically tends to be at least one period where we're just not, on the throttle. We're just not.
Well, we have started to see some of that throttle cranked up from some of those young players that we talked about. Nice to see some things coming from Max Nemesnikov.
Oh, for sure.
We're talking Wainwright, and these are names we've been mentioning more recently. Yeah. But even, let's go to Max here for a moment. Like, we've been waiting, and now all of a sudden the last, even 4 or 5 games, he's really shown up as recognizable out on that ice.
I think you're right, actually. Yeah, absolutely. I've been very happy in the last couple of games to see Max really sort of turning up that game and putting a little more of a shine on his skill set. And Ty, he's sort of stepped up, but he takes that step forward.
You're still not impressed with him.
You know what?
Why can't you just do that all the time?
I just want to see more from him. That's it. That's really it. But
a hat trick and then 2 goals in 1 game still not good enough for you.
Yeah, and then what do you do the game after that?
I know. Passed it around.
Put his feet up.
Passed it to Max.
Sure. Right. Sure. Yeah. That's
Okay, so we need to put the pressure on out there.
I think it's about putting the pressure, keeping the pace up. And having the ability
and when you do that, you de-stress the goalie.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you can't let your goalie see 40, 50 shots on goal. Or it's just not going to happen.
Although the goalies don't mind it in a sense. They go, look at me, I saved 50 tonight. Look at my stats. Hey, Mr. Scout.
We can't fault the goalies for anything this season, I don't think at all.
Right. Well, they're getting ready to come out here, but we're about 17 minutes away. But I did want to mention, and I know you saw this too, Hayden Hodgson on fire for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, he gets the call up from the ECHL.
First
game,
and assist.
He gets a goal and an assist.
Yeah, and it was and he was one of the 3 stars in the game that night as well.
And you know what? So. Good for him. You know what? I was a fan when he played here.
It was like 3 seasons, I think.
Yeah, I was a fan when he played here, and I'll be a fan of his in the NHL.
Yeah, many were fans of him.
Yeah.
Because I think, and I don't recall. I remember the name, but I remember talking to a few other guys around here, and they were like, he was just a really nice guy too.
I heard that. I've heard that from many sources.
So that's always a bonus to hear that.
I like that happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see what happens coming out here. Jay Peckham will come back, of course, and join me.
Woohoo!
And now you'll get to see the look on his face, and you'll be able to tell whether it's going to be a good conversation or a bad conversation. And we might have to tell him to put the mask on at some point. I predict a win. Yes, one of these teams is going to win.
Yes. Don't be a pessimist, Dave.
I know. It's only towards you. All right. Well, and of course, a reminder, we'll have the post-game press conference after tonight's game as well. We're going to be back here again on Sunday. So keep following us around. Share your comments. I'll check them out. If you got some questions that you want to ask Jay Peckham, get his thoughts. Do that, and we'll share it.
I am not short of opinions.
Well, that's why we keep him around.
And answers.
It's kind of why it's one reason we keep him around anyway. There's a couple other, but we won't share that. Okay, I'm getting off track here. So sure. I'm David Burrows on behalf of my friend, maskless Jay Peckham.
Go Sting, go!
Yeah.